It's the 8th day of May, and I'd like to introduce you all to somebody I've known 2 or 3 decades, believe it or not. Mark Switzer is here with Grip-Tite Foundation Repair. Good to have you on the program, finally, my friend.
Yeah.
We've talked about this for how long? 3 years?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that vicinity. But tell everybody about your company, because this is the time of year that people should really pay attention to their foundations.
Yeah, Grip-Tite's been around since 1921, and they're probably the longest company in that type of industry. Basically, we do foundation repair for buckling walls or settling foundations. We do water control and waterproofing of basements.
So is this a foundation stabilization?
Yes, stabilization or actually doing lifting on a foundation. Our goal is always to try to lift and get the house back level, but you know, in cases sometimes it's stabilization.
How does that work? Because you think a house, you're like, that thing's not moving, it is what it is. How are you able to physically lift and make that stable again?
In most cases we use what they call a pier, and we push steel pipe to bedrock, and then we have a plate that fits underneath the footing of the house, and we physically lift the house back up to get it back level so it's uniform all the way around.
How deep is bedrock?
Every situation's different, but Des Moines proper, you could plan on 40, 45 feet.
Wow.
When you go to Ankeny, you know, it could be 150 feet up there. So then we use a different type of system up there. We use a helical instead of a push pier.
Is this a logistical thing to do? I mean, obviously, if your company has been around since 1921, you said it's something that's needed. But if your house is starting to do this, is it time to find another house, or is this something that can make it last for quite a few more years?
It's something that will make it last forever. We give a lifetime guarantee on our product. So, and not only for the homeowner, but if they ever go to sell it, we guarantee it again for the second homeowner. So there's 2 lifetime guarantees with our product.
Now, you can see some of these photos here. It's obvious that you have some shifting going on here, and those are telltale signs. But what are some other signs that maybe your foundation is doing some things it's not supposed to do?
Yeah, you always look for what you call the door reveal in a house, where you have a door going into a bedroom or inside to outside situation. Make sure that door's, you know, uniform. The seam around it would be steady, you know, as
the gap is equal.
Yeah. You look at cracks usually on a foundation. If you have cracks coming from the corner going out, there's probably a settling problem. If the cracks are coming to the corner and stopping, then it would be a bowing situation. You know, every house is going to be different. 2 of them aren't going to be the same. So,
and you're here this time of year because probably it's the rainy season, and this is when a lot of these things happen. Is water usually the cause of these problems?
Actually, water isn't the cause. It's drought is more contagious for the house to settle in a drought time, which it's dry during the winter in the ground, and then water comes back in to play underneath the house, and it starts floating again. So,
I see.
And it will start causing the ground to swell. So then you would have bowing walls, or, you know, the settlement issue will be more pronounced, you know, with the rainy season.
Now, can you fix only solid foundations, or you can repair cinder block type foundations?
We do cinder block, poured walls. Red clay is some of the older homes in the Des Moines area.
Wow.
So every wall is going to be different. Like you say, it's taking a look at it and seeing what your situation is. Not every job is fixable.
And you'll tell somebody that too, won't you?
Yes, I will.
So what is their option if a job is not fixable? They have to lift the house and put a whole new foundation under it?
In a lot of cases, yes. You know, to put a poured basement under it, you're looking at a major undertaking. If you want to block it, it can be done fairly economical, but you know, it'll be a lot less, because if you're going to put a poured basement underneath it, the house is going to be lifted about 4 to 5 feet off of the existing
It
foundation.
doesn't even seem possible to do something like
It's
that.
done quite a bit.
How big of
Really?
a home can you lift? You said that you stabilize and you level the house off. How big of a home can you level off?
We can level off any size of home.
Really?
Yeah, we can do 3, 4-story buildings.
That's unreal.
Yeah, our equipment is designed, so that we have commercial properties that we do quite often.
Didn't know that.
Buildings.
Now you see foundations that they're settling and things like this. I also see that you guys are involved in mud jacking or concrete lifting as well.
Correct.
How long have you guys been doing that?
Actually, that's a new division for us, so that's started up.
Because driveways are usually the things we're
Yeah.
talking. Driveways or into garage entrances into garages where you get settlement and it starts separating. And it's more and more when you're pulling into the garage, you might just go over a little bump, and then now when you're pulling the garage, it's yeah, that's a.
Surprisingly, a lot of the mud jacking is done on new housing developments where.
You're kidding.
No, the groundwork wasn't prepped real well for the driveway, and then the driveway
Just
starts buckling and heaving.
I have one of those.
I was gonna say, do you have
Yeah.
tips for people out there that might be building a house or things they should look out for to make sure something like this doesn't happen?
Well, yes, you need compaction and a lot of drainage underneath a driveway, and unfortunately, sometimes contractors just don't get there,
Right.
quite adequately, so that's the only way you can alleviate it, is having a good base underneath that driveway.
So something to think about if you are building.
Yes,
Make sure
definitely.
that's done, and not you're available if they need you, but it'd be nice if you didn't have to do that in the first place.
Sure.
There you go. So Grip-Tite foundation repair, bowing walls, cracked foundations, house stabilization and leveling of the homes, and now mud jacking and concrete leveling too.
Yep.
So you guys.
And we actually do, we have a product that if you have a new house that you're going to build in, it's on unstable soil, we can go in and put a helical in to keep that house so it never moves, and they'll pour that embedded in the footing of the house.
I was wondering if so many houses needed to have this done due to age. It's like, why not put it in beforehand so you never have to deal with the problem in the first
Being
place?
done more and more.
Okay. Are there certain areas of land that you'd want to really consider that an option, or anywhere?
If you are building a house somewhere next to a ravine or a waterway, steep cliff, be very good to take a look at putting in helicals to the footings. We have certain areas where they call it gray clay or blue clay that they build on. That ground never dries out, and that's just a calling card for disaster.
Okay.
Okay, we're talking a lot
Good to know.
about water too. I understand you also do waterproofing, both interior and exterior.
Correct. Correct.
So you don't like that moldy smell, Jason?
Yeah.
No, this might be.
I don't know why he referenced me, but
Prior code of 1974 that most houses had not been tiled around the inside footings. The code came in 74 to start tiling those houses. So if you have a house that was built prior to that, most of the time they will not have interior tile and sump pumps. So we go in and take the floor out and put tile in and sump pumps, and that would be called your water control.
There you go. Perfect. Well, Mark, good to see you, my friend.
Yeah,
And now
thank you.
people
Yeah,
want to
thank you
get a
for the
hold of you.
tips.
How do they get a hold of you? What's the easiest way?
Call 515-462-1313.
462-1313. And again, you guys are located just outside of Des Moines, easy to get to, and you service all central Iowa or all of Iowa? What do you-
We work within a 150-mile radius of Des Moines.
Perfect. Well, good to see you again.
yeah, thanks a lot.
Best of luck.
Learned a lot.
10 minutes before 8 o'clock, we'll be back. You're watching Great Day Live on KCW.